So President Cyril Ramaphosa is back in the country after his four-nation visit to West Africa. And while he's certainly got a lot on his plate here at home, with the fourth wave, Omicron and travel bans, our country's relationships in Africa are crucial. The President visited Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, Ghana and Senegal. Let's unpack it now with Liesl Louw-Vaudran from the Institute for Security Studies. Liesl, I would imagine it has to be a pretty significant trip for him to leave us while we are the world's focus over Omicron.
Yes, good evening, Sally. Absolutely, it was very important. And I think Omicron also was center stage. In fact, used every single platform during the trip to criticize the travel bans, to talk about vaccine production, the accessibility of vaccines. So really, while he was in those four countries, that was really talked about a lot, even though the focus and the aim of the trip was around trade and investment. I was just speaking now to a colleague of mine who is in the ISS's Dakar office and who was at this Peace and Security Forum where President Cyril Ramaphosa spoke, saying that it was very well received, his message, and there was a sense of solidarity amongst Africans because, you know, the West African Francophone leaders in Senegal and so on are always very polite, diplomatic, especially when, you know, there are other heads of state of European countries. And President Cyril Ramaphosa apparently was, you know, welcomed there, and people were happy that he was so, you know, didn't pull any punches when it came to the Omicron travel bans.
Of course, Nigeria and Ghana, traditionally English-speaking, Senegal and Ivory Coast, those Francophone countries. But we know with Nigeria, it is often a bit of a competition between Nigeria and South Africa, which is the stronger economy. We also heard reports while he was there that there were some tensions around the Nigerian government apparently asking for compensation around xenophobic attacks. Would you say that relations are stronger after this visit?
Yes, definitely. I heard also the Nigerian foreign minister say, you know, that issues of xenophobia are still very important. But that was also one of the aims of the trip, is to try and build some political capital there. And it was, it came up, and certainly in the Nigerian media, there were even some who said, yes, but, you know, how can we now let a big delegation from South Africa in? Nigeria was the first leg of this trip. So it was just after this whole drama around Omicron, you know, hit the headlines. But I think definitely there were very, very good talks. This was the 10th binational commission actually with Nigeria. Trade and investment links are sometimes difficult. We know the issues with MTN. Some South African companies have left Nigeria. Rather in Ghana, where President Ramaphosa also went, there are 200 South African companies, a lot of trade there because it is sort of easy. It's Anglophone, as you say. And then Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, Francophone Africa's leading economy, biggest cocoa producer in the world. There is very little trade and investment. Why not? I mean, just the fact that it's not, you know, an Anglophone country shouldn't be such a barrier. And there are huge opportunities. People are keen to move away from just French consumer goods. Morocco is a big investor there. You know, why not South African? So I think that political capital somehow is very, very necessary to build bridges in Nigeria, Ghana, but also in other places.
All right, so I suppose in a way it helps smooth relations and open doors for the trade deals to be made. You know, former President Thabo Mbeki was known for his African Renaissance approach. If you compare the two presidents, how is Cyril Ramaphosa viewed in Africa compared to how Thabo Mbeki was?
Yes, he's definitely seen as more business orientated. He led the African Union last year in 2020, and while peace and security issues and so on were the main theme of the African Union, really COVID-19 responses and so on, and business, I think, development issues, representing the continent was, was what he had driven. President Thabo Mbeki, of course, Pan-Africanism, the African Renaissance. Many people regret, that he hasn't continued, with all those initiatives, because he was one of the founders of the African Union, which celebrates its 20 years next year. He did a lot for the continent, but now is a new phase, and President Cyril Ramaphosa had a very difficult job to overcome many of the issues, of difficult relations. We talked about xenophobia, but also just South Africa's image generally on the continent was dealt a big blow during the Zuma era. And I think that's why I think this was really an important trip. In Senegal, President Ramaphosa, I also said to a colleague, he sounded a bit like President Thabo Mbeki, because he got a doctorate, for example, at the Cheikh Anta Diop University in Dakar. Cheikh Anta Diop is one of Senegal's well-known Pan-African philosophers. And he spoke about, Frantz Fanon and Aimé Césaire and so on. More of the Mbeki type, let's say, African solidarity, African unity, which was also nice to hear from President Cyril Ramaphosa.
All right. Well, thank you so much for explaining that to us, the significance of that West African trip for our country. Liesl Louw-Vaudran from the Institute of Security Studies. We've got more in a moment. Stay with us.